Welcome everybody to today's live stream. I appreciate everyone who has joined in. Today is Sunday afternoon, and I have two fantastic women here today who are going to be talking about a festival that they have coming. It's going to be celebrating Ghana's Independence Day. So we're going to have a conversation. This is about the Abakosem Festival, which takes place March 6th and 7th. And this is a way to celebrate Ghana's Independence Day, which is on the 6th of March. Ghana will be turning 64 years old this year. So this year with the pandemic, a lot of things have been canceled, including Independence Day celebrations that normally happen, like parades and different activities. So a lot of things have gone virtual. So their festival is going to be a virtual festival. Now, before I get into more detail, I want to first of all thank anyone who has joined this live stream so far. And I want to get started first by offering some condolences. In Ghana, one of Ghana's top photographers, Emmanuel Bobby, also known as Bob Pixel, is one of Ghana's great photographers. And the creative industry in Ghana has lost a legend. His work really promoted the country and tourism and just showed the beauty of the people, the culture, music, through pictures and through film. And I want to offer my condolences to his family and friends, colleagues, and the entire country who is in mourning right now for losing him unexpectedly before his time. So I just wanted to start off with that because he is an important part of Ghana's history. And today we are talking about something that has to do with Ghana's history. So the Nana Project, some of you may not know much about it. Then some of you who've tuned in, maybe you do. The Nana Project was started by Kirstie Kwarteng, and the mission is about preserving and archiving Ghana's history through firsthand accounts. Now, I think it's a great initiative because it is, touching on stories, real life stories, talking to real people, telling the history of the country, people's grandparents, aunts, uncles, great grandparents, they all have stories to tell. And it's really great that she's tapped into some of the people across the country to find out a little bit about the history of Ghana through their perspectives. So the Nana Project, I have been following the page for quite some time, pretty close to when she first started and I first heard about it. I initially, I went to the website, to the social media pages, and you see images like this where you have these historical documents showcasing people, real people who share their lives and give us a peek into the window of who they are. And I think it's really important that these kinds of stories are being shared. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the two women who are with us today introduce themselves. So today, as I mentioned, Kirstie Kwarteng, who is the founder of the Nana Project, she's going to tell us a little bit more about why she started this project, who she is, and how things are going. And I'm also going to speak with Benjamina, Efua, Dadzie, who is a researcher on the project, very passionate about Ghana's history. And so let me throw it over to them and first welcome them to today's live stream. Welcome, ladies.
Hi, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for being here and taking the time out to talk about your project and what you're doing. So first of all, I'll start off with Kirstie. If you can first introduce yourself, talk about what you do and why you started the Nana Project.
Hi, and good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone, depending on where you are. My name is Kirstie Kwarteng, and I am the founder of the Nana Project. And we started the Nana Project in 2014 is when we got to work on it, but it officially launched in 2015. And the story of the Nana Project was actually birthed out of a very sad occasion for me. It started, or the idea of it came when my maternal grandmother passed away. And this was in 2007. She was 96 when she died. And that year was also the year that Ghana turned 50. And for her funeral, we went to our hometown, which I had not been to before. It's in the Eastern region. And it was the first time meeting a lot of family. It was the first time, like being in this place where, my ancestors had lived and walked. And as I was there and I was just thinking about being around my family, the fact that it was, Ghana's 50th anniversary, and the fact that my grandmother was 96 when she died, that meant that my grandmother was 46 when Ghana became an independent nation, almost 50 herself. And there was so much knowledge and history, things that she had seen, because she was born in 1911. So much information that she had in her that went with her when she died, because nobody asked her about her life and the things that she remembered about Ghana's history. And so that made me really sad. And I kind of held that within me for a very long time, because like I said, we started work on the Nana Project in 2014. So, and my grandmother died in 2007. So that means that for a whole 7 years, I just kind of sat with that and sat with this idea of, okay, well, my grandmother passed. She took a lot of the history about Ghana, a lot of history about our family with her. What can I do to make sure that no one else goes through what I went through? I wanted to prevent people from feeling what I felt when my grandmother passed. And so I had the idea. I spoke with my cousin, who was actually the third member of the Nana Project team. Her name is God's Grace Tedefio. And she has a background in like photography and video production and things of that nature. And I was like, I have this idea. I want to preserve the history of our family and our elders through their own words. How can I go about doing that? I want to film it. Like, can you help me do that? And that's kind of how the idea of the Nana Project came to be. And we put everything online because we are in the digital age, and we wanted to make this information accessible to as many people as possible. And so that's why we do online video, we do audio stories, we do photo stories, because we want to make sure that people have the options, as many options as possible as hearing about Ghana's history. So that's the kind of the long and short of how the Nana Project came to be.
So that's how you started the project. And how did you actually, first I want to find out how you found people's response was to it once you initiated the project. But first I'll get Benjamina to introduce herself and how she got on board with this project.
Yeah, thank you. So I officially joined the Nana Project last year. So around April. Obviously, the pandemic hit. A lot of us were in lockdown, and so suddenly I had quite a bit of time to pursue, things that I had been wanting to do, but just didn't have the time to do. And I obviously been following the Nana Project for quite a while. And I actually did an audio story for the Nana Project when both Kirstie and I were in Ghana, because just to share a little bit about my background, academically I'm trained as an anthropologist with a background also in archaeology, and so history and anthropology and our past is something that it's so dear to me. And of course, being Ghanaian, I'm always looking at how the past manifests in our present. And one of my research streams was looking at currency in pre-colonial Ghana, and so I had a chance to sit down with Kirstie to talk about these ideas and this research I had done in 2015, 2016. And so I joined the Nana Project April last year, and a big part of what I do on the team is to think about different content and different ideas we can develop. And so I bring in that sort of research / academic aspect to the platform. Yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. So Kirstie, I wanted to know, how did people respond when you launched the Nana Project?
Oh, people were really excited. People felt that it was something that was missing, something that was very necessary. I remember when we sent out the first emails, just letting people know that the platform was live and that this is a space where people could go to learn more about Ghana's history from the people that lived through it. People were just, people were ecstatic, honestly. And people are still ecstatic when we post new content that shows an elder, sharing. It could be something as, as mundane as like going to a football game or a soccer game, as we say in America, or something as significant as remembering where they were when Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown in the 1966 coup. I think there's a thirst or a hunger for people to really learn more about Ghana's history, their family history. And I think the rise of the internet and the digital age that we're in has a lot to do with that. It's made information a lot more accessible, which is part of the reason why we put the Nana Project on the internet in the first place. But we are really grateful for the people that have been supporting us since we started. We're grateful for the people who are Ghanaian or not Ghanaian, might just have an interest in Ghanaian or African history, who come to the page or to our social media channels and just let us know, like, wow, thank you for sharing this information. Like, we've had so many people tell us that they've learned so much from the information that we've posted, and for me that is it's very humbling, and I feel really happy and proud that we've been able to provide this, like, a service, so to speak, to Ghanaians in Ghana and the diaspora, as well as people who are interested in Ghanaian or African history generally.
That's great. So anybody who's joining right now, in the middle of this live stream, I am talking to two women who are working as part of the Nana Project. First of all, Kirstie Kwarteng, who is the founder of the Nana Project, and then Benjamina, Efua, Dadzie, who is a researcher on the Nana Project. And if you're just joining, as I said, you may not know what the Nana Project is. It is a fantastic and phenomenal way of documenting Ghana's history. And their mission is about preserving and archiving our historical stories from the perspective of the people of Ghana, because we all know that there's the accounts of history that are given to us through the news and newspapers and history books. But there are historical accounts that are living within people amongst us who were around during those times, and maybe they weren't tapped into, and their stories are quite interesting and quite unique. And I think it's fantastic that she has this project going on. When I started to follow the Nana Project on social media, I noticed those things got me thinking about people around me. And I have my grandmother's sisters. I'm constantly trying to get them to come on camera so I can record them telling me stories about their lives when Kwame Nkrumah became president. What was going on? What was it like for women? I want them to share these stories so that other people can hear what their experiences were. And also, I really realized how much I missed out on, because my father passed away in 2007. And it wasn't until a few years ago I was talking to his friends and finding out information about him that I didn't know. Like, I didn't know that my father worked with the youth who were part of, I believe they were called the Young Pioneers, who were helping with Kwame Nkrumah and distributing information and going to meetings. And so it's like, I had no idea that my father did any work with Kwame Nkrumah, like him and his friends. And I just wish I had those stories. So anybody who's got, your parents are alive, they lived through certain periods of time, they've got stories to share, your grandparents, your aunts, your uncles. So I think that this is a really great way of accounting history that is not being done by others, but by ourselves. So so I think that what you're doing is really great, Kirstie, how you've started this, and I'm sure it's kickstarted other people doing similar things as well. So I just want to go through this particular comment here. I believe it's directed for you, Kirstie, saying that a Smelly Badger says, "I'm sorry for your loss. Our elders connect us to so much." So that's regarding your loss that kind of did influence you on starting this project. So I want to thank everybody who has joined and is continuing to join today. Now, with the Nana Project, you have an upcoming event, which is why we're gathered today to talk about the Abakosem Festival that's happening on March 6th and March 7th. Now, I have subscribers and followers from all over the world, and some of you may not be aware that March the 6th, 1957 was the date that Ghana gained independence. Every year, there's huge festivities that happen in the country, and this year, because of the pandemic, it has been, put to a halt. So people are going virtual. And so the Abakosem Festival is a virtual event that's taking place, and there's going to be so many interesting things. There are speakers talking on different topics, and I'm really excited to hear more about this festival. So if Kirstie, if you can first talk about exactly what the festival is and how you came up with doing this in the first place.
Sure. So the Abakosem Festival is an online 2-day event that is going to celebrate, Ghana's really rich history and culture. We'll be focusing on Ghana's political history, Ghana's, photographic history, and how photography has been used as a way to capture Ghana's, people and our culture throughout the years. We'll also be focusing on music, and we have 2 very exciting guests that I think people are going to be very, very excited to see. And I'm trying to remember the last one. And fashion. And we're also going to be talking about fashion, especially focusing on the history of Ghana's woven fabrics. And for that one, we're really proud to say that we have representatives from the Ashanti area of Ghana, the Volta, the Ewe area of Ghana, as well as the northern area of Ghana. We felt that it was important to include as many, different areas and different people in Ghana in this festival, because we wanted it to be representative of the whole diversity that that exists within the nation of Ghana. And so we're really looking forward to this event. Like you said, it takes place March 6th is the first day, and that is the actual day of Ghana's independence. And then it goes into the next day, March 7th. So we're really looking forward to this. It's taken a lot of planning, but I believe that if you come, you will learn something new. We have a wide array of speakers from some who are in academia, some who are curating. They work as curators for different institutions. I think it will be we wanted it to be a space for anyone who is interested in Ghana's history, whether they are Ghanaian or not, whether they are in Ghana or not. We wanted it to be almost like a communal space for people to come and learn about Ghana's history and Africa's history in a way that is relevant for today. And part of the reason why we did it online, of course, was because of COVID, and we wanted to. We didn't want to do it in person because we didn't want to, take the risk of exposing anybody. But I guess in that, it's maybe a bit of a blessing, because since it is online, anybody in the world can join, and that's something that we're really excited about. We know Ghana, especially with the year of return. Ghana, it has become more visible, I guess, in the public eye. But even before the year of return, because of Ghana's very long Pan-African history, going back to Kwame Nkrumah, even before, Ghana has, in my opinion, I would say Ghana has a special place in the heart of the global African diaspora. People from the people of African descent all over the world have been coming to Ghana to visit, to live, since Ghana became an official nation state in 1957. And so I think putting this event online and having this be a space where we can all learn and celebrate, Ghana's history is kind of I think it's in that Pan-African vein, because we can invite anybody from around the world who wants to come and join us on that day to join us. So we're really looking forward to this event.
I just realized my mic was muted. So the Abakosem Festival is March the 6th. For those who are interested, March 6th and 7th. There are panel discussions on both days. And what I want to know is, Benjamina, as the researcher on the team, were you the one who worked on curating who the panelists would be, or was this a team effort?
So this was a team effort. In terms of sort of the conception of the idea, we were thinking about, obviously, Ghana independence is always a big sort of day in our content calendar. And so thinking about what we could do to, again, expand the knowledge around Independence Day and the birth of the nation state, like Kirstie mentioned, we were putting together ideas. And I initially thought, okay, we could do something that touches on different cultural outputs and, think about the nation state and how it manifests in different forms. So I shared this thought with the team, and together we sort of started brainstorming ideas and also thinking about speakers. Of course, we had what one might call a wish list of speakers and also people to collaborate with. I'm so excited that we were actually able to have the support of some of the people that were on our wish list. And I think that speaks powerfully to the commitment of people, of Ghanaians, both young Ghanaians and older Ghanaians, to our shared history and sharing in an educational space the history of our nation. And so when thinking about, for example, the music panel, we never thought that we were going to be able to secure legends like Ejakonimo and Juduble Ambule, but we have been able to team up with them, and they will be speaking about the way they captured the nation and the birth of the nation state through their music. One, Ejakonimo, a legend of the palm wine music genre, and Juduble Ambule, a legend of the high life music genre. And also thinking about the speakers we wanted to invite, we had to pay attention to creating a balance between creative people, but also academic people, but also thinking about the idea of creative and the idea of academic as a nuanced idea. So do we see academics just as people who are sort of formally trained in tertiary institutions, or we see our elders as people who hold knowledge that is valid and important in educational spaces? And so if you look, for example, at the panel on fashion, we have two extraordinary gentlemen, one from Minsha Palace and one from Agotime traditional area, speaking about the different uses of the kente, one in the Volta region area and one in the Asante region area. And so you also see that we have entrepreneurs on that panel. So people who actually have created innovation around the use of different fabrics. And again, we have our moderator, Ama Boaje, an extraordinary producer and curator of the Wax Print Festival. Someone who is actually a young person rooted in the community of young people who are trying to understand how the fabrics that made our history, represented the visual expression of our history, are being used today by young people. And so we put a lot of thinking around that, also looking at accessibility. People that have visited our website and are aware of our work might know that our core sort of demographic of people we work with is elder Ghanaians, right? And so when thinking about how do you create a space where they can actually support us in in curating this knowledge we are trying to curate, you have to think about different formats. And online might not necessarily be suitable for all people. And so we had to think, okay, who would we like to have, but who can we actually have in terms of speakers? And so thinking about the ethics of accessibility and creating spaces where people can thrive. So yeah, so these were all the process we went through, and I think it actually created a wonderful learning experience for us on the team, something that we will carry with us throughout the different events and content that we produce for the platform.
So you mentioned a couple of things on the panels. Let me just read this comment here. First of all, this Bliss B says, I'm on the website now. What a thorough job. I'll be watching all of the videos to get ready for the celebration. I'm not of Ghanaian descent as far as I know, but I do want to know more about Ghana. So that's wonderful. That we've already got somebody checking out your work on the website. Hello, I'm Lindy, is the French West Indies. Okay, she's person, Liddy is in the French West Indies. Thank you so much for joining. Black Greatness, Black to Africa says, hey fam, thank you for joining us today. If anybody has any questions or comments, please drop them in there and we'll do our best to address them. You mentioned some of the panels. So I want you, the two of you, if you can, go through some of these panels as to, you know, what the theme is and, you know, why you decided to have these particular people. I know you had your wish list of people to be on each of these panels. So let me start off with the one that you mentioned when you were mentioning Ama. This is Weaving the Fabric of a Nation, Ghana's Tapestry. So this particular panel discussion is taking place on Saturday, the 6th of March. The time is 1 p.m. Eastern time, that's New York, Toronto time, or 6 p.m. Ghana time, Ghana, London time. So this one features a few people who are working in fashion and textiles. If you can talk a little bit about these people, who you chose, and why you think that they're important to be on this panel. Either one of you can answer this.
Yeah, so we have our moderator, Ama Dadzie, who is the founder and curator of the Afropole. And the Afropole is a creative space that gathers different cultural outputs. And prominently, she hosted the Waxprint Festival in 2019 in Ghana, which was quite a big event. It was a space to think about the idea of the wax print and the different ways it has been used to produce signature items for Ghanaians and Africans more widely. We also have a gentleman called Osebonsu Safakantanka, who is a historian, a teacher and a researcher at Menchia Palace, which is the residence of the chief, the king of the Asante Kingdom. And he will be talking to us about the different types of kente and the different ways and who gets to use what type of kente, what the king prefers, what people are not allowed to use because it's the prerogative of the king. So really interesting ways in which fabric within the Asante kingdom has been used throughout time and how it continues to be used today. We also have two wonderful ladies. One is Nana Ekuabru Hammond, who is the creator of Exit 14, which is a brand that takes the northern fabric of Batakari and innovates it in a way that is extraordinary. So think about coats and sort of outdoor wear using Batakari textile. So that's wonderful work she's doing. She's also an author. We also have Gertrude Kunde Williams. So Gertrude is the owner of Smoky World. And Smoky World, again, takes the northern fabrics and innovates it by using it for accessories, bridal wear, really wonderful work. And finally, we have a gentleman from the Volta region, Elvis. So he is going to talk to us about how the Ewe Kente has been used historically and also presently. And so, like I was saying before, this panel really it stands well actually for the type of work we're trying to do. So diversifying the knowledge about Ghana and looking at the different cultural expressions, because again, Ghana became a nation state in the 1950s, but actually Ghana is a region. So if you think about the area where Ghana sits, is a region that has diverse cultures that were put together through colonial enterprise, and so there are cultures that are very localized to different regions and different people. And so, so these are some of the panels. I don't know if, Kirstie, you want to pick on some of the others?
Yeah, so the first event for the festival is actually a panel on Ghana's political history. And it's called Backwards Never, a Political History Retrospective. And for this panel, we wanted to kind of take a look at what events in Ghana's history and what figures in Ghana's history are remembered versus those that are maybe hidden or more forgotten, and why that is the case. So for this panel, we have the moderator is Emanuela Amo, who is a PhD candidate in history, actually, at the university. But she started her educational career at the University of Ghana in the history department there. And she focuses on the relationship between Ghana and the wider African diaspora. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what she has to say. We also have Dr. Benjamin Talton, who is an associate professor in African history at Temple. And I believe he's the former president of the Ghana Studies Association. And I've had the privilege of interacting with him in 2019 when I presented a paper at the Ghana Studies Association conference. And of course, as an associate professor in African history, you would expect one to have a lot of knowledge about Ghana and its history, and he does. And I'm really, again, I'm looking forward to what everyone has to say, because everyone is not only just knowledgeable, but very passionate about Ghana and its history. So I think it'll be a really great conversation. But in addition to those two, we also have Anakwa Dramina, who is a books editor with an online platform called Africa is a Country. And the name of that is satirical. We all know that Africa is not a country. While there are, similarities that exist across the continent. We all know Africa is not a country, but the name is just supposed to be a joke. But that platform, they talk a lot about a lot of current events that happen across the continent, and as well as how these events relate to what happened in the past. So that's why we asked Anakwa to come and speak. And also, Anakwa is a former member of the Nana Project team, and we are still close with him and in touch with him. And we felt that he would be a great addition to the panel because of his knowledge and his passion. And then the last person on the panel is a Ghanaian journalist named Anama Ajiman Asante. And if you follow her on Twitter, you know she is very active in the Ghanaian journalism community. She knows a lot about Ghana's history, and she herself is also very passionate about things that are happening in the country and understands how these things that are currently happening, current events that are occurring in the country, how they are related to things that have happened in the past. And so that is the long and short of the political history panel. I think it'll be really great. We did have a brief meeting with the panel earlier this week, and we're planning on, they are planning on talking about a lot of different things in Ghana's history, kind of talking about why, when we think of Ghana's history, there's a few people that come to mind in regards to like great Ghanaian leaders. And then, but there's a lot of things that happened in the in between that we don't really acknowledge. Like, we don't really like to talk about the military juntas when they were in power. We don't really like to talk about the coups and the impact that those things had on the Ghanaian people then as well as now. But I think if we're going to acknowledge our history, we need to acknowledge all of it, even the parts that might not be as pretty or make us feel comfortable. So that panel will be talking about, you know, kind of political memory and forgetfulness, so to speak.
So my apologies, my internet had cut, so I dropped out of the conversation for a short bit. You've gone through a couple of more panels, because when I was on before I dropped out, it was the textile one, right? So you've talked about the photography. You've talked about the photography and
we haven't talked about the photography one, so I can briefly mention that. But similarly, the photography one is again looking at how Ghanaian culture has been sort of narrated and curated through visual culture, so photography. And we have 2 young artists and curators who are going to talk to us about the type of work they do with photography. So that panel will actually be moderated by myself. So we have Adjoa Ama, who is a curator, writer, and the creator of Saman Archive, a photographic archives that again looks at Ghana through that lens. And then we have Kwabena Ejari Efua, who is an institutional curator at Nabuke Foundation. And again, his work focuses on creating photography that deals with the birth of the nation of Ghana. And so with them, we are going to look at 2 main streams. So looking at the people of Ghana, so how people have been captured through time, and specifically looking at the sort of birth of the studio photography and how studio photography was used as a space to memorialize different occasions and different important events, but also looking at the nation itself. And so taking the photographies outdoors and looking at how different events, political events, social events have been photographed throughout times. We are going to look at about 3 or 4 photographers who have been important for Ghana's history, including James Barner, Felicia Alban, James Bruce Van der Poye. So there will be quite a lot to talk about when it comes to historic photography. And then we will talk about also the type of work they are doing with photography and the history of Ghana. Oh, Ivy, I believe you are muted.
Okay. So this question is for topics. How do you maintain objectivity when certain stories are told?
I mean, so the question is, how do we maintain objectivity when the stories of Ghana
stories are told? Yes, when broaching sensitive topics of Ghana's past. So some things that Ghanaians find sensitive would be like how Kirstie mentioned that there's ugly history that people don't necessarily want to talk about. If you come across those in your conversations with people, how do you maintain objectivity on certain stories? Because a lot of Ghanaians become passionate about something and are not always objective when they're having.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so the honest truth about it is objectivity does not exist. You know, the honest truth is objectivity does not exist. The great thing about history is that history is accessible to everyone. You know, our ancestors hold our history, our grandparents hold our history, our parents hold our history. And so history is seen differently by different people. And, you know, a wealthy person might see history differently because of the things they had access to. a poorer person might see history differently because of the things they might have been subjected to. And so I think the part of the work we do is not necessarily to create objectivity or neutrality around our past. Part of the work we do is to tell histories that reveal and, in a sense, animate what we read on books, so that people understand that what they are reading actually happened in the life of people. And so it's not necessarily our job to instill objectivity in the things we talk about. And the great thing about our platform is that it provides space for different people from different walks of life to share their own personal history and how their personal life, family histories fits into the different sort of official histories of Ghana. So yeah, objectivity is a myth.
And related to
All
that,
right.
if I can also interject, I think I believe our purpose as the people collecting the stories of the elders is to collect their stories. You know, I don't think as Benjamina has said, I don't believe it's our place to try to create some clean, official, objective narrative based off of what people experienced. Because, you know, like Ben just said, where you were in your walk of life will impact how you viewed different events in history. So whether you were in the northern part of Ghana versus the southern part of Ghana, whether you were a man or a woman or adult or a child, all of those things will impact how different events in history, how people related to different events in history. So it is possible for people to have conflicting narratives of the same event based on a variety of things. So I think for us, it's important to just give the elders the space to share their stories and to share what happened to them and to share how they experience things. I don't believe it's our place as people collecting the stories to try to encourage or force them to create any type of narrative based on what we feel is appropriate.
Okay, so another question in the comments here. What are your thoughts on brands like 57 Chocolate that use symbols from Ghana's history and heritage on their products? Does it help to increase heritage awareness, or is it too much commercialization? For those of you who are watching internationally and may not be familiar, 57 Chocolate is a Ghanaian-made brand of chocolate, and they use some of the symbols from Ghana's heritage, of the Adinkra symbols, on some of their products. So the question is, with respect to that, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I don't necessarily have any thoughts on that. And again, it's not necessarily the Nana Project's aim to look at how other people manifest our culture in through their different media of expression. But what I will mention, especially to the person that asked this question, is in Ghana we do have a statutory body that actually deals with the sort of visual representation of Ghana's culture. So that body is the National Folklore Board. So any things regarding sort of copyright or commercialization of Ghana's heritage, so both sort of visual and tangible heritage, such as the Adinkra symbol, which is what the person in the comment mentions, but also the different sort of narratives and sort of folklore. So whether it's songs or, for example, the idea of the announcer's story, those type of cultural items, the National Folklore Board has the power. It's the sort of the government agency or body that looks at those items. So I think, if people have concerns or if they have interest in exploring how Ghana's culture visual culture has been used to, to create commercial products or to create educational products. The National Folk Award is the perfect body to approach and receive support to actually think about these issues.
Thank you for that answer. Someone here also asked regarding the fabric. Is there any chance to show how this fabric is made and what can be done to increase production with modern technology? I think that may be regarding the textiles you talked about earlier.
Yes. So one great thing, and I encourage this person to actually attend the panel, and they can find all the information on our website. Some of the panelists actually are going to talk about how different textiles are produced in different areas, like the actual technology that is used to produce them, and how that impacts their durability, their price, their sort of prestige. And so when it comes to sort of, I believe the person is referring to technology in terms of machine technology. It's important to recognize that not everything can sort of be created within the space of robotics, because the great thing about our culture is the means of action itself. It's part of the culture, all right. It's part of the fabric, literally and sort of metaphorically, part of the fabric that produces the end result that we see as people. Certainly, I think there is scope and also opportunity, again, through Exit 14 or through Smoky World, to actually expand the reach of these fabrics through export. So in terms of reach, there is definitely opportunity for people interested in buying different fabrics. I'm not quite sure about the technology itself.
Thank you for that answer. Just want to remind everybody who's tuned in that we are talking with Kirstie and Benjamina from the Nana Project. They have a festival coming up March 6th and 7th, which is the Abakosem Festival. And there are four panel discussions that are happening between March 6th and March 7th. And there's also a day that is like a quiz day. So the panels that they have, you can join in based on whatever you're interested in. So there's the panel discussion on Backwards Never, a political history and retrospective. That is on Saturday, March 6th, 9 a.m. Eastern time or 2 p.m. GMT Ghana time. So that is one of the panel discussions that's happening. And then the other one, which we just finished talking a little bit about, is the Weaving Fabric of a Nation, Ghana's Tapestry, which is also on the Saturday the 6th, 1 p.m. Eastern time or 6 p.m. Ghana time. And then there is the panel discussion that is on music, the beat of Ghana, the evolution of Ghana's music. That one is also taking place on Sunday the 7th at 10 a.m. Eastern time, 3 p.m. Ghana time. Again, that one is on music. And then there's the panel that Benjamina is moderating, which is Legacy in Print, Photographing a Nation. That one is also happening also on the Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern time or 5 p.m. Ghana time. So how can people who want to participate register for these panel discussions for this Abakosem Festival that's coming up?
So if people want to join us, which we strongly encourage them to do, they can purchase tickets from our website. We do have tickets available on Eventbrite for people outside of Ghana, and for on Ego tickets for people who are in Ghana. And so that would be the best way to register. You can register for individual events. So you can register for one of the 4 panels or for the trivia quiz. But we also have an all access ticket if you want to attend all of the events. And I think, if I weren't planning this, I would get the all access ticket just because all of these events are really great. And we have a lot of really great speakers who are really knowledgeable and passionate about the topics at hand, as we've discussed in length. So we really encourage everyone to come for a panel, come for 3 panels, come for all the panels, come for the trivia quiz, test your knowledge of Ghana's history. I think that would be a really fun way of kind of synthesizing all of the information that that we would have learned across the 2 days, almost like a quiz, but a no pressure quiz. It's just a fun quiz, no marks or anything like that. So join us.
Okay. So I'll go to the comments. Adrina Monet says, I love seeing stellar, stunning photos and moving videography visuals of Ghana and all of Africa as a whole. Just makes my day. Thank you for your comment. Ivy, I'm sorry, but I can't stay. I just stumbled across this live. Oh, no problem. Great topic and company. I'll rewatch when I'm done. Great work. Thank you so much for tuning in, even if it was for a brief time. I'll continue going through the comments. So wonderful, guys. Well done.
Thank you.
So that's my mom, actually.
Is it? Moms always got to support. It's wonderful to have mother support. Bliss B says, purchasing my international tickets now. Great, fantastic. That's wonderful. I'll be attending the Backwards Never Political History Retrospective and the Beat of a Nation about the evolution of Ghana's music. Fantastic. That's wonderful to hear. Great. Thank you so much for your very thoughtful answer. I'm very happy to learn from you 3 today. Let me see, you have more comments here. Bliss B says, it's great to see a Dinker symbol on commercials. If they are imported to the States, I want to know what I buy is created and profits the people of Ghana. Thank you for your comment. Samson says, thanks ladies for this platform, but does Ghana have a national cultural day, if I may ask, to portray our different cultures and tell our own narratives? Do either of you know that?
So Ghana as a nation state doesn't have a national cultural day, but it's important to, but I was going to say it's important to know that different communities have, festivals and have specific cultural manifestation days that happen throughout Ghana. In the north, in the south, the east, the west. So that's my answer. Ivy?
A lot of people are not aware that Ghana actually does have a culture day. Ghana's culture day is on the 14th of March.
Okay.
Yes, a lot of people don't realize that. The first time I attended the culture.
Is that a public holiday?
That I don't know the answer to. I do know that it's a day that is celebrated because I went to Culture Day for the first time in 2019. It was held at the National Theater, and they had a lot of different people doing different types of dance. There were some performances. There were some people from UNESCO who were in attendance, and some other delegates who came for Culture Day. The Deputy Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture was there as well. And they talked about different things in Ghana's culture. And they also touched a little bit on some diasporan culture as well. So March 14th is the day that is known as Ghana's Culture Day.
That's great. I didn't know about that. So I think I need to put my researcher hat on and go find out more. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So the person's got their answer. Millie D says, great work done, ladies. I'm Benjamina's sis, by the way. Oh, your family is representing.
My parents are also watching. I just want to shout them out as well. I don't want people to think my parents are not also involved.
Oh, wow. Great thinking with the paid forward tickets too. That's good. That's really good. Thank you.
I wanted to mention that people that buy all access tickets have the trivia tickets. It's part of the trivia tickets, so they don't pay for the trivia tickets if they buy all access tickets.
Okay, someone's saying they can't find the all access ticket on the website.
Okay, so if they go on our main, so on the homepage of our website, the first thing they see is the Abakosem Festival and the dates. And when they press on Learn More, the festival page comes up, and they will, if they scroll down, they will see purchase on all tags. And so if they are buying from outside of Ghana, they should press on the button that says Purchase Now International. And if they're buying within Ghana, in cities, they should press Purchase Now Ghana. So the website is thenanaproject.org. So that's thenanaproject.org. And for the festival page is thenanaproject.org/Abakosem-festival.
Awesome. For those who are joining, so I know there's people who join middle of the live stream, we're talking about the Abakosem Festival being put on by the Nana Project. And it is happening March 6th and March 7th. And it's a great way to learn about Ghana and Ghana's history, culture, photography, music. For those who are talking about going onto the website and buying tickets, as Benjamina said, there is the international and then there's the Ghana portals for purchasing tickets. For people who may ask why, because I know I'm going to get people asking me in the comments later on, why is there a Ghana versus international? Internationally, you guys can use Eventbrite, correct? You guys have Eventbrite. In Ghana, you can't purchase on Eventbrite because Ghanaians, the options it gives, Ghanaians can't make payments using Eventbrite. So the international page will be going to Eventbrite. The Ghana page goes to Ego Tickets, which is set up for Ghanaian payment systems. So it was necessary to do that to make it easy for people to be able to purchase their tickets. So I hope that answers the question, because I know my followers, and some of these, that's a kind of question that somebody might ask. So I just wanted to make sure that it was there. Okay, so Romeo has said that Romeo has found it on the site. So perfect, great, awesome. So you also have the quiz night for your event. Talk a little bit about, not quiz night, but a quiz section, because you have panels and then you have a quiz. What exactly are you doing for the quiz, and is there a prize that people are getting when if they complete it or if they answer a certain number of questions? Like, how is it being done?
Yeah, so the idea of the quiz comes from looking at different ways to stimulate all of us to venture out to learn more about Ghana's history. And so the quiz, we will have items on tangible heritage. And so, talking about forts, talking about, for example, fabrics, talking about monuments of different sort of types. We will be talking about language, about food, about political history. We'll be talking about music and entertainment. And so actually, if you pay attention during the panels, all of them, you stand a good chance to actually know a lot of answers during the quiz. Yes, there is going to be a prize for the winner of the quiz. One of our partners, Harmattan Co., they produce collectibles using symbols and visual designs from Ghana's culture, and the owner, Della, has been an amazing supporter of the Nana Project and of this festival. And so the winner will actually have the chance to pick an item from Harmattan Collectibles collection, and then we will arrange delivery for them to have the prize. And so if you're on Instagram or on Twitter, you can check out Harmattan Co. at Harmattan Co. and you can see the type of products they do, so that you can come to the quiz and win.
Can you spell that for me, or send it to me in the chat so I can put it on the screen? You said Hamilton Co.
Yes, I will do that right now. Yes, I'll send it to you now
so that I can put it on the screen.
Harmattan Co. is actually also the company that designed the festival logo, and so they are incredibly creative. And with the logo also, we were looking at ways to capture Ghana's culture, the idea of the Adinkran symbol, the Sankofa, and the idea of history. So, looking backwards and sort of picking that history and sharing that. So incredible people, all of you should check them out.
Okay, so this is on Instagram, right?
Yes,
okay, so anybody wants
Instagram. Yeah, they're both on Instagram and also on Twitter, but also have their website, which is harmattanco.com. So, the same as the .com, harmattanco.com.
Okay, so for anybody who wants to check them out, this is their website, harmattanco.com, and then their Instagram page, harmattanco. For Instagram. And if you want to follow the Nana Project on Instagram is _Nana_project. To follow them on social media with all of their posts and keep up to date for this event and on future events and future stories that they're telling. And they also have a YouTube channel where you can watch some of the videos of some of the interviews, correct?
Yes.
You can stay up to date and watch some of their videos. So we have a Bliss Bee founded on IG. Fantastic. That's great. And so I think it's really great what you're doing, you ladies, offering this this event as a way for people to be able to learn about Ghana and Ghana's history. And let me just put on the screen here what the logo here that you spoke about, the Abakosem Festival logo. It's cute. It reminds me of the Sankofa symbol. I'm guessing that's a little bit about a little bit of the inspiration behind it.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you so much for your super chat donation. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes, the inspiration is the Sankofa because for those that may not know, the word Abakosem means history in the Akan language of Chi. It's actually a phrase, and the phrase means the fact that has come and gone. So, I mean, Chi is a very colorful, very visual language, but the first part of the word Aba means it has come, Ko means it's gone, and Asem, from which the suffix sem comes from, means fact. So the fact that has come and gone, and so it translates into history. And so thinking about the symbols that can represent the idea of history or the idea of a fact that we can take from the past and reflect on, the Sankofa symbol seem very natural to us. And so even the positioning of the word Abakosem, you can see that it's between the neck and the mouth of the Sankofa bird. Again, using visual narratives to capture exactly what we are trying to tell.
Perfect. I'm glad that you gave the explanation of the word Abakosem because there's a lot of people who would not know the meaning. So it does provide a little bit more context into why you chose that name. So we have someone here asking if the Harmattan company is a Ghanaian-owned company. Do you know?
Yes. We've spoken to the owner, Dello, as Benjamina said. He's been very gracious in his support of the Nana Project and of this festival. They've recently opened a shop, I believe, in Osu, where they are selling their collectible items. I would really recommend everyone going to either their Instagram page or their website to see the posters that they have. They've been able to take, like Agri Gardens or like different locations in Ghana and making beautiful visual displays of them. It's really great art. I think they even just recently released a line of coasters. So if that's something that you're interested in, they have keychains, they have notebooks, they have postcards. Like he's really doing a really great job in trying to show Ghana's Ghana's culture and our history and our different locations visually in a modern way. So he's Ghanaian. Like I said, they just opened a new shop, and if you can't get to Osu, please go visit them at their website or their Instagram page.
Awesome. This has been a really great conversation, ladies. I know that there's a lot of people who have a lot of interest in Ghana and Ghana's history. And so what you're doing is really, really connecting with a lot of people, around the world. A lot of people in the diaspora have such strong curiosity about Ghana's history. And a lot of Ghanaians don't even know Ghanaian history either, I would like to know from you, Kirstie, since you started the Nana Project, what has been the most surprising story that you've learned from someone about history that they told, about their life?
Wow. Whenever I'm asked this question, I always think about my uncle, who was one of the first, I think he might have been the first person we interviewed, and I interviewed him when I was in Ghana. And I think it's when we look at our elders, if we don't know their life stories, you just, at least for me anyway, you just see them like, oh, that's my uncle, that's my grandparent, that's my auntie. But in talking to them about like what they've done in their younger years, like you can be surprised as to how the things that they were really into. So I know one of my uncles, as a student at well, at the time it was just UST, the University of Science and Technology. But while he was there, it became Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. And he and some of his classmates weren't really fond of that because they felt that in changing the name to reflect the president of the country, they felt that that was the beginning of hero worshiping. And so he was involved in a lot of protests during this time, actually against the Nkrumah administration, because they felt that Nkrumah was starting to infringe on their rights to free speech and things of that nature. And so I was surprised to hear that, because my uncle, he's a very calm, relaxed man. So I was really surprised to hear that he was out there on the front lines of protesting, getting beat up by security officers, having to be careful at school with who we talked to and what he said publicly, because they had informants at the university. And so I think for me, that was one of the most surprising things that I've learned about someone doing these interviews. One, because it did change how I saw my uncle, but it also did change like how I viewed the history during the time of the Nkrumah administration, because we do speak about Nkrumah quite positively, because he was a visionary. He did a lot of really great things for Ghana, but we all know, no one is perfect. Everyone has their flaws. And so hearing about my uncle's experience, and again, that goes back to what I said about how people can have conflicting reports of the same historical event. So plenty of people know Nkrumah as the great leader that he was, but then there are people that, like my uncle, who experienced a different side of that administration. So I think to this day, that interview still has really stuck with me.
And Benjamina, in your background in history and archaeology and everything, what is the most interesting thing that you've come across in your career, in your studies about Ghana and African history?
So I must admit that Ghana is not the main focus of my academic research, but thinking about the research that I've done about currency in Ghana, I was impacted by how linked that region was in the past. Which, it's not surprising, because, borders are sort of effectively modern constructs. The idea of the nation state, they're modern constructs. But, the fact that people from what was called Western Sahara, so, basically the northern part of West Africa, where trading and we're in constant connection with people in the southern part of the region, that is something that we have lost, and that's something that we don't talk about often. Again, there's a sort of a language barrier as well, because most of that region speaks French, and the southern part, Ghana specifically, we speak English. But I was positively impacted about how connected we were, and I wish we had that same connection today.
I can totally understand what you're saying, because when you people tell stories, sometimes I hear about how, you know, people in Ghana, how the Akans also are in like Ivory Coast as well, you know. So you realize that there's a lot of connection. And I know that I've had family members, because my father's side is Ewe, but my mother's side is a Chim. But I've had family members talk about the Ewe side, and that there's people from that group that are also in like Togo, into Benin, and some even into Nigeria. So there is a lot of connection that people don't realize until they start learning history. I have someone here in the comment who said, Ghanaians are not interested in studying history because it's graded in school. At least that's my reason. Make it an easy pass or fail subject, and our young ones will jump onto it. So do you think that this is a problem, that people are looking at it as just something to study in school? How can we get people to be more interested in history without it necessarily being about school? Because I haven't been in school for a long time, but I'm very interested in history. It has nothing to do with passing or failing.
Yeah,
I just am interested to know, to be interested.
Yeah, no, I completely understand what you are saying, and I don't necessarily know if the sort of the problem or the lack of interest comes from the fact that it's graded or not. Because again, you know, we can talk about history outside of the classroom. I think first of all, one main issue we have is our educational curriculum. So the formal sort of curriculum is very much rooted in sort of colonial legacies. And so, you know, you will have school pupils that know more about the Queen of the United Kingdom more than they will know about the Asante Hene, for example. And so there is a need to sort of create and curate a history that that concerns us as people, as Ghanaians. So that's one issue. The other issue is also, I think, how history and sort of the humanities are seen not as sort of important or as necessary for the people of the nation. And so the idea of, you know, for example, if you're studying you know, for a career, doctor, engineering, lawyer is more appealing than a career as historian or an anthropologist or so on. So I think it's also shifting the narrative about the importance of history and actually making sure that people understand that the manifestation of history is seen in the present. For example, you mentioned Ivy, your family being effectively split between sort of two nation states. It's important to understand that you know, the presence of, for example, the Akan people in Ghana and in the Ivory Coast, and that split, it comes from a historic situation that is situated in colonialism. The same issues that we are having every political season, for example, in the Volta region, and how people feel about the idea of Ghanaian citizenship and who gets to be Ghanaian, therefore who gets to participate in active political campaigns or electoral politics. Again, that struggle of the right to Ghanaian citizenship comes from a historic issue that to this day remain unresolved. And so I think if we as a people, we are committed to understanding how the importance of history affects us in the present, I think there will be more interest in actually learning about our history. So I don't think it's necessarily about grades. Certainly it has an effect, but it's not the root cause.
And I think one thing,
I keep forgetting that my mic is muted. I agree with what you're saying, that I don't necessarily think it has to do with grades as well, but that particular person, that's how that person viewed it. And I don't invalidate someone's viewpoint, because everybody has their own viewpoint. And that means that there could be other people who feel the same way, as Romeo was saying, with respect to connecting it to a school grading situation when it comes to history. So, but I love what the Nana Project is doing. For those of you who've been on this live stream, whether you've been here for the whole time or you've just joined, we are going to be wrapping up in a minute. And I just want to quickly go over that we've been talking to Kirstie and Benjamina from the Nana Project. Visit the website, thenanaproject.org. I just put it on the screen, and you can check out what they do. I want to quickly say something before I do the complete wrap up, because I know that, Kirstie, you do accept people's stories, because you curate and look for stories. But if people have stories they also want to share, they can get in touch with you. So can you talk a little bit about that process?
Yeah, so we, like you said, while we do go and collect stories from the elders, we want this to be a communal archive. So we accept people's stories. If you want to sit with an elder in your family and do a video interview or audio interview, or you have a photo of an elder in your family when they're back in their younger years that you want to share with us, you can do that. And we actually have a space on our website where you can submit your stories to us. So if you go to our homepage, nanaproject.org, on the top where there's the different options, you'll see an option that says share your stories. And if you click on that, that will give you all the information you need as to how you can submit and share your story with us. And in addition to that, we are working on creating a community of people who collect stories. So if you're interested in doing a more in-depth, kind of a full life history interview with your elder, there's also a space where you can sign up to do that. So we have the option for if you just kind of want to do a short one-off, maybe a quick 30-second video or audio interview, or if you just want to share one photo with a short caption, you can do that. But then we also have the space for people who want to share, who kind of do the longer videos that you'll see on our YouTube page. If you want to do that, that does require a bit more training, and we have a guide that we can give to you that will help you with all of that. So if you go to nanaproject.org/share-your-story. So or you just go to the website and you'll see it on the top, share your stories.
Okay. So I put it on the screen for anybody who wants to share their story through the website. And Kirstie, did you want to touch quickly on the previous comment that Benjamina responded to with respect to history and how we can encourage young people if they feel it's connected to school and grading? Did you have a comment about that as well, or?
Yeah, I did, just quickly. I think things like the internet is really a great tool, honestly. And there's we're all on our phones, we're all online a lot. And granted, I know it's not everybody that has internet access, but there are a lot of people that do. And I've seen, since we've started the Nana Project, I've seen an increase in the amount of digital platforms that are dedicated to preserving different aspects of Ghana's history or African history at large. I think the very first platform I remember, even before the Nana Project, is Gold Coast to Ghana. They've been on Instagram for a very long time, sharing different photos and things of Ghana's history. And then we came on the scene. There's now a Ghanaian Museum. There's now Sihene, which is all about Ghana's chieftaincy. We have an Ode to High Life, which is actually one of our partners for the festival. They will be moderating the music panel. They're all about Ghana's musical history, specifically focusing on High Life. And there's countless others that I can't name at this moment, but I really think as we go forward, this digital age is honestly just kind of starting. And I think it's important for us to use the technology that we have to share the history, but also to preserve it, because there's a lot of institutions that still have paper copies of documents that are 100 years old plus. And so I know one of our partners for their festival, Accra Archive, they are actually working on digitizing documents that are in the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. And I spoke with the founder, her name's Kukwa Manful, and she said they have to wear the hazmat suits when they go in, and they have to wear gloves because some of the papers are so old they're disintegrating. So I think it's this, using this technology we have to put our history online and make it more accessible to people, to young people especially, since they are the ones that tend to use technology in the most innovative ways. I think that's really the best way of keeping people engaged with our history.
I'm just picturing things disintegrating. As you said that, putting on the suits and the gloves, and 'cause I know there's a lot of historical places that people have to do that in order to preserve what is there. And I do think that technology needs to be used to help, document and preserve these things, because it'll come a point in time when this stuff, you can't even access it anymore if it's destroyed. And then how do we keep our history? There's so many countries around the world that have managed to keep their history intact for thousands of years because of the efforts made to preserve it. And I think it's important that Ghana and other African countries start to really value the history of what's here and what we have, and so that the future generations know what was behind them. I mean, one of our most popular, things is Sankofa, about going back, into the past. Why is it that there's not the effort being made about going back into the past and preserving that for the future in order to move forward, So Kojo Senya says, great initiative. Our history needs to be preserved, most definitely. This has been a really great conversation today. I'm so happy that you two ladies were able to make up the time that we do this. I just want to quickly mention that we were here today talking to Kirstie, Kwarteng, and Benjamina, Efua, Dadzie, who are on the team for the festival, the Abakosem Festival, which is happening March 6th and 7th. And it is, to celebrate Ghana's 64th Independence Day, and it's being done virtually. I know that if it wasn't for the pandemic, this could have been something that could have been done in person, but partially virtual. But the great thing about it is you have some people on the panel who aren't even in Ghana, but they're able to join virtually, right? Like Nana Bruhaman, I believe, is in the US right now, and she's able to join because it's virtual. So for those of you who want more information, these are the panels. This one is called Backwards Never. It's a political history retrospective. It is on Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Ghana time. And then we have the Weaving the Fabric of a Nation, Ghana's Tapestry. That one is happening on Saturday, March 6th, 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Ghana time. And then there is the panel on the beat of Ghana, the evolution of Ghana's music. That one is happening on Sunday, March 7th, 10 a.m. Eastern or 3 p.m. Ghana time. You don't want to miss that, learning about Ghana's musical history. And then this panel, Legacy in Print, Photographing a Nation. This one is being moderated by Benjamina herself, and it is on Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 4 p.m. Ghana time. And then the final panel is a quiz, which they mentioned is on the 7th. That's on the Sunday. The quiz is happening at 1 p.m. Eastern Time or 5 p.m. Ghana time that you can get involved. And you can get your tickets for the Abakosem Festival by visiting the website, which is thenanaproject.org. You can click for international purchase or for Ghana purchase on 2 different platforms. The international platform would be Eventbrite, and the Ghana one will be on Ego Tickets, to make it easy for payments for people in different countries. So, ladies, I want to thank you again for coming on today. Adrina Monet says, thanks, ladies, for all this insightful knowledge. We have Ebony Anita Gaddafi out of Toronto. Hello, Anita, who says, well done, ladies. Thank you for tuning in. And then we have Gertrude, who says, a very insightful session. Well done. PB, thanks to the panelists, we must document and tell our own story. Self-reliance should guide everything we do. So thank you so much, everybody who has joined. I'm going to let the two of you each give your final thoughts before we close out the show. So I'll start off with you, Benjamina, and then Kirstie can close out.
Yes, thank you everyone for joining us. Of course, you can find us on thenanoproject.org, and you can also find us on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube. As we said before, part of the work we are doing is also collecting Ghana's history through personal accounts. And so if you want to share your family history or your community history, definitely go on our website and share your story. And we also have resources to guide you through how you can share this story. So a great training opportunity as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Benjamina. Now, Kirstie, if you can share your final thoughts.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us this morning. We're really looking forward to the festival. Thank you, Ivy, for having us, for allowing us to share not only about the festival, but about the work that we do at the Nana Project. We really appreciate everybody's support. Please, as Ivy said, purchase your tickets on either Eventbrite or Ego Tickets. I also did want to mention that if you are unable to attend the event, or even if you are able to attend the event, we do have the option for each panel, as well as for the all access ticket, to pay it forward. With COVID, we know a lot of students around the world have not been able to go to school, or they're going to school like part-time, but some virtual learning is a part of the experience of a lot of students this academic year. And so we wanted to give people the option of supporting students, because we feel that this festival is very educational. It's a place where people can come and learn a lot about Ghana's history and Africa's history. And so we have the option to allow you to purchase a pay it forward ticket, and that will go to a student, either if it's a student you know, or if you would like us to organize to pass the ticket on to another student, we can do that. But we really wanted to make this an interactive and collaborative event, and we wanted to provide that option for students to attend. So I also just wanted to point that out. But thank you all for your time. Thank you all for your support, and we are looking forward to seeing you all this weekend.
Thank you so much, ladies. It's been a wonderful time chatting with you and learning more about the Nana Project and about the upcoming Abakosem Festival on March 6th and March 7th. For those of you who missed it and you're joining now, you can always watch the replay. It will be available online through YouTube as well as on Facebook. You can catch up with everything if you've missed this live stream. It's been a great conversation. So I do recommend that you watch from the beginning and you catch everything and learn all the things about the Nana Project and the Abakosem Festival coming up on the 6th and 7th of March. Don't forget to go to thenanaproject.org to purchase your tickets. And if you can't attend the festival, just follow the Nana Project anyway, because you can see all the things, keep up to date with everything that they're doing in the future with documenting the history of Ghana. Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you everyone for joining, and I'll see you next time.